Assalamu alaikum, I am Talat Suhail. I welcome you all to Virtual University's program on personality psychology. Dear students, today we will be beginning with another very fascinating, very interesting theory of personality, that is Maslow's need theory of personality, and we will try to cover important constructs and concepts of this need theory. But before beginning with this new lecture, let us recap what we did in lecture number 18. In lecture number 18, we discussed with you Sheldon's somatotype theory. हमने इसमें ये देखा था कि Sheldon was focusing on number 1, a set of discrete physical or physique variables. Number 2, a set of temperament or mood variables, and he used these two variables in explaining human personality or human behavior. So for Sheldon, it is observable physique, body type or soma, and the temperament that is directly used in explaining human personality or human behavior. जनाब, जब हमने आपसे शेल्डन की सोमैटोटाइप थ्योरी की बात शुरू की थी तो हमने ये कहा था कि इट वाज शेल्डन हु डिवाइज्ड अ टेक्निक ऑफ सोमैटोटाइपिंग. He utilized some 46,000 photographs of subjects, out of which he selected 1,000 photographs, and he used a technique in which he studied these photographs of different body areas such as the head, neck, the chest trunk, the arms, the stomach trunk and the legs. These were the 5 different areas which were used by Sheldon in describing, in classifying people according to their physiques. And based on this technique, he classified people into 3 groups: endomorphs, mesomorphs and ectomorphs. So for Sheldon, these are the 3 major categories of the physique types which he uses in classifying people. He also used the dysplasia और the disharmony in physique that exists. हमने उस पे भी आपसे बात की. उसके बाद हमने कहा कि there are certain temperament variables that Sheldon also employed. Now initially Sheldon began with a list of some 650 temperament variables. Although after a long observation and a lot of work with these 650 trait variables or temperament variables that were available to him, he radically reduced them to 50, and he used these 50 traits in trying to classify people according to temperaments into different groups. And he tried to give us 3 clusters of temperament traits. So for Sheldon, individuals can be classified according to temperament into 3 groups or 3 clusters as well. Dear students, we were talking to you about Sheldon's somatotype theory, जिसमें हमने आपसे कहा Sheldon employed physique type, temperament type in trying to classify people. उसके बाद हमने ये देखा था कि Sheldon even tried to establish a relationship of physique with mental disorders and relationship of physique with delinquency. Now, basically, this was a theory which was focusing on physique and how physique is related with explaining behavior. So Sheldon employed 3 physique types used in explaining personality or human behavior. Dear students, that is as far as our lecture number 18 was concerned. We tried to cover a fascinating theory given to us by Sheldon, and that was focusing on body type, physique or soma, and how this physique or soma and temperament traits, they are used in explaining personality or human behavior. Now today we'll begin with you with another very interesting theory of personality given to us by Maslow. Now before talking about Maslow's need theory, or before going into Maslow's hierarchical motivation theory, or before going into the major concepts of this theory, let us see what we mean by the term humanistic psychology. I am certain all of you have heard the term humanistic psychology. What is humanistic psychology? Who are the humanistics? And why we should study them? जनाब बात यूं है कि humanistic psychology is the third force in psychology. आप कोई भी नफ्सियात की अगर किताब उठाएं उसमें आपको साइको एनालिसिस मिलता है, दैट इज द फर्स्ट फोर्स इन साइकोलॉजी. आपको उसमें बिहेवियरिज्म मिलता है, दैट इज द सेकेंड फोर्स इन साइकोलॉजी. और आपको उसमें ह्यूमनिस्टिक साइकोलॉजी में स्पेशली मैस्लो और रॉजर्स की थ्योरी जरूर मिलती. सो बेसिकली what is humanistic perspective, or who are these humanistics, or who are the followers or pioneer of humanistic psychology? Janab, humanistics are individuals who are basically trying to focus on the positive characteristics of human beings, who are trying to focus on self-concept, who are trying to focus on the free choices that are available to an individual. So, humanistic psychology basically says that all human beings are inherently, innately, by birth, they are good, they are not evil, they are not destructive, they are not bad, but they are inherently, innately, by birth, they are good, they are born with free choices, and they have creative self. जनाब जब हम इस थ्योरी की बात करते हैं, इस पर्सपेक्टिव की बात करते हैं ह्यूमनिस्टिक साइकोलॉजी की, तो उसमें हमारे सामने सबसे पहला जो इंडिविजुअल आता है वो इब्राहिम मैस्लो आता है. नाउ मैस्लो gave us a neat theory of personality. If you can conceptualize a pyramid or a triangle, well, we can use this pyramid or triangle in explaining Maslow's need theory of personality. जनाब अगर आप इस ट्राइंगल को और इस pyramid को देखें तो इस pyramid की जो base है that is broader and the top is very narrow. And as we move from the base towards the upper part, certain needs have been labeled. At the first step of this triangle or pyramid, we have got the physiological needs. At the second step, we have got the safety needs. At the third step of this triangle, we have got love and belongingness needs. At the fourth step of this triangle or pyramid, we have got self-esteem needs. And the last and the most important, the top, which is very narrow, which is very small, is self-actualization. बात यूं है कि इसकी बेस ब्रॉडर है और हम जो ऊपर की तरफ जाते हैं इस pyramid और triangle में, it becomes narrow. So it then means most of the individuals are busy in fulfilling their needs at the basic level. It is very few who reach the top. It is very few who are able to self-actualize. यानी हमें बहुत कम इमरान खान नजर आएंगे, जावेद मियांदाद नजर आएंगे, अब्दुल सत्तार ईदी नजर आएंगे, या बहुत कम कायदे आजम या इब्राहिम लिंकन नजर आएंगे. These are the few names of some self-actualized individuals. हम आपसे बात करें ह्यूमनिस्टिक साइकोलॉजी की, मैस्लो की साइकोलॉजी की और मैस्लो की नीड थ्योरी की. आप सबके लिए ये सवाल है, डू यू वांट टू रीच द टॉप? क्या आप इस ट्रायंगल और इस पिरामिड में जो बेसिक सर्वाइवल नीड्स हैं उनमें से गुजरने के बाद टॉप पे यानी सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजेशन तक या इन सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइज्ड इंडिविजुअल्स के लेवल तक पहुंचना चाहते हैं? वेल, द आंसर इज सर्टेनली ऑल ऑफ अस वांट टू सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइज, और हम सब इस प्रोसेस में भी इन्वॉल्व हैं. लेकिन द इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इज, अकॉर्डिंग टू मैस्लो, वन सेट ऑफ नीड्स अराइज, इमर्ज, दे आर ग्रेटिफाइड, individual moves on to the second level of needs, those needs are satisfied, you move on to the other one. So physiological needs arise, individuals satisfy them, it is then safety needs will emerge. जनाब, जब safety needs surface पे आई, आप उन्हें satisfy करेंगे, आप अपनी हिफाजत करेंगे हर गर्मी, सर्दी और हर उस चीज से जो आपको नुकसान पहुंचा सकती है. When safety needs have been fulfilled, it is only then that love and belonging needs would emerge. और जब ये पूरी होंगी तो इसके बाद उससे अगली, and it is the last step is self-actualization. Certainly every individual who comes in this world wants to self-actualize, wants to reach the top. Dear students, in this theory we will first be talking to you about Abraham Maslow's biographical sketch. हम आपसे बात करेंगे थोड़ी सी डिटेल में ह्यूमनिस्टिक साइकोलॉजी क्या है, ह्यूमनिस्टिक साइकोलॉजी के बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट्स और कंस्ट्रक्ट्स क्या हैं, जिसमें हम फोकस करेंगे द इंडिविजुअल एज एन इंटीग्रेटेड इंडिविजुअल. नंबर 2, the irrelevance of animal research, man's inner nature, human creative potential, और हम मैस्लो की हायरार्किकल थ्योरी ऑफ मोटिवेशन को देखेंगे और हम इन सारी 5 की 5 नीड्स को डिटेल में करेंगे. एंड वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक इन डिटेल अबाउट सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजेशन, व्हाई कांट ऑल पीपल सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइज, और फिर हम देखेंगे डिफरेंस बिटवीन बेसिक नीड्स एंड मेटा नीड्स. सबसे पहले तो ये देखेंगे कि बेसिक नीड्स कौन सी हैं, मेटा नीड्स कौन सी हैं, इनमें क्या फर्क है. उसके बाद वी विल गो थ्रू एम्पिरिकल वैलिडेशन ऑफ ह्यूमनिस्टिक थ्योरी कॉन्सेप्ट्स, और यहाँ पर वी आर गोइंग टू गो थ्रू द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजिंग पीपल. देयर आर सम 16 कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजिंग पीपल, और हम उस हर कैरेक्टरिस्टिक में से गुजर के देखेंगे, उसे पढ़ेंगे और उसको डिस्कस करेंगे आपके साथ. देखेंगे ये कि सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजिंग इंडिविजुअल्स आर नॉट एंजल्स, एंड व्हाट इज द गोल ऑफ साइकोथेरेपी फॉर मैस्लो, एंड ऑफ कोर्स देयर विल बी समरी एंड इवैल्यूएशन. Now let us go through the biographical sketch of Abraham Maslow. Abraham Maslow was born in the year 1908 in Brooklyn, New York. His parents were Jews. They migrated from Russia and they came to America. They were uneducated and they simply wanted their child to be educated and to have a better life than theirs. So Abraham Maslow was sent to school, and it was here in school that he developed interest in psychology. Abraham Maslow's initial interest was in behaviorism or Watson's behavioral psychology. But very soon, after the birth of his first daughter, all his faith and loyalty towards behavioristic psychology vanished, because he soon discovered that behavioristic psychology or behaviorism somehow is not working when he is raising his own 2 daughters. So he was convinced that behaviorism or behavioristic psychology is more relevant in understanding animal behavior rather than human behavior. Now, Maslow himself was an individual who had a lot of characteristics. Now, he was member of American Psychological Association. He was president of the Division of Personality Psychology. He was president of the Division of Social Psychology, and he was president of the American Psychological Association from the year 1967 to year 1968. Please keep these very significant things in your mind, that he himself was a fully functioning individual or a self-actualized individual. ये आप जहन में रखिएगा, क्योंकि आगे जब हम आपसे बात करेंगे, this will facilitate you. Now, let us go through some of the basic important concepts of humanistic psychology. The term humanistic psychology refers to third force in psychology. Although pioneers of this movement represent a wide range of views, they do share certain fundamental conceptions of human nature. The individual as an integrated whole. One of the most fundamental aspects of humanistic psychology and Maslow's version of it is that each individual must be studied as an integrated, unique, organized whole. In fact, Maslow's theory was primarily developed as a revolt against those theories, especially behaviorism, that deal in bits and pieces of behavior while ignoring the person as a unified whole. Example, the personality and behavior of a university student is to be studied in totality or unity, not in bits and pieces. This will include behavior of student at home, in classroom, in lab, in canteen, among friends. So it is then that behavior is complete and united and unified. Dear students, we are talking to you about the basic concepts and constructs of humanistic psychology. हमने आपसे ये कहा कि the term humanistic psychology refers to the third force in psychology. First force is psychoanalysis, second force is behaviorism, and third force is humanistic psychology. Now, the pioneers of humanistic psychology, they give a lot of importance to the fact that human beings are born free, they have got certain choices, and innately, inherently, they are good. They are not bad or evil. So, dear students, based on this humanistic psychology, there are certain basic premises of humanistic psychology. जिसमें से सबसे पहला बेसिक प्रेमिसेस है द इंडिविजुअल एज एन इंटीग्रेटेड होल. नाउ the humanistics are talking about studying the behavior of an individual as an integrated whole, not to dissect, not to divide the behavior, the personality of an individual into bits and pieces and to study those bits and pieces, but rather to study the individual as an integrated whole. Example उसमें मैंने आपको दिया कि if I am interested in studying the personality of a university student, well then I don't have to dissect or divide the personality of the individual or student into bits and pieces, but I've got to study it as a whole in totality. यानी उसका बिहेवियर क्लासरूम में क्या है, उसका बिहेवियर कैंटीन पे क्या है, दोस्तों में क्या है, घर पे क्या है. Got to take a unified, integrated version or perception of human personality. So, dear student, this is the first construct. Number 2, the behaviorist think it is irrelevant to take into account animal research. So, second construct, irrelevance of animal research. Advocates of humanistic psychology recognize a profound difference between human and animal behavior. For them, human beings are more than just animals. They are special kinds of animals, highly significant from a humanistic perspective, then is the fact that there are no rat, pigeon, monkey, or even dolphin personality psychologists. Only humans have the capacity to theorize about humans. Dear students, the second important construct is that instead of observing animals and trying to carry out experiments on animals, and when a particular construct has been proved in observing animals like rats, pigeons, cats, dogs, and then to make a theory about human beings as well, that is wrong. For Maslow, it is only humans on whom experiments should be carried on, about whom research should be conducted, and then a theory can be formulated about human beings' basic nature and behavior. वो सारी स्टडीज और एक्सपेरिमेंट्स जो बिहेवियरिस्टिक स्कूल ऑफ थॉट ने बर्ड्स पे, एनिमल्स पे किए हैं, और करने के बाद सारे कॉन्सेप्ट्स को ह्यूमन बीइंग्स के लिए जनरलाइज किया है, फॉर ह्यूमनिस्ट दे नॉट राइट. थर्ड इम्पॉर्टेंट construct is man's inner nature. Freud's theory implicitly assumed that man basically has an evil character. Human impulses, if not controlled, will lead to the destruction of others as well as the self. One might not be able to appreciate this view, however, from the humanistic perspective, the evil, destructive and violent forces in people arise from a bad environment rather than from any inherent rottenness on their part. Examples: all robbers and thieves are not born as robbers or thieves, but environment makes them evil, destructive and bad. Dear students, we are talking to you about third important construct of humanistic psychology, which is man's inner nature. Now, for the psychoanalysts, for Freud, human beings are evil, bad, destructive. अब ये अगर राय हम अपने बारे में सुने तो certainly this is something which one doesn't like or which one doesn't appreciate. The humanistics on the other hand say that all human beings innately, inherently they are born good and they are not evil. It is environment which is making them evil or bad. तो इसका ये मतलब हुआ कि वो सारे लोग और जिनके अंदर वो जो रॉबर्स हैं, थीव्स हैं, या जिनमें कोई बुरी एट्रीब्यूट्स हैं, they never had those attributes initially. It is through environments that they have learned these attributes, or these attributes have entered their personality. Number 4 important construct, and that is human creative potential. Maslow merits the distinction of being the first to call attention to the fact that the most universal characteristics of the people he studied or observed was creativeness. One need not write books, compose music, or produce art objects to be creative. Comparatively few people do. Creativity is a universal human function and leads to all forms of self-expression. Thus, for example, there can be creative homemakers, salespersons, business executives, and even college professors. बात आपसे हो रही है ह्यूमनिस्टिक साइकोलॉजी की इम्पोर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट और कंस्ट्रक्ट रिलेटिंग टू ह्यूमन बीइंग्स, एंड दैट इज ह्यूमन क्रिएटिव पोटेंशियल. नाउ it was Maslow who began talking about something that is universally present among all human beings, and that is creativity or creativeness. अब जरूरी नहीं है कि क्रिएटिवनेस के लिए मैं किताब लिखूं या मैं शायरी करूं या मैं पेंटिंग बनाऊं to express my creative self. Rather, whatever I do, my creativity and creative self is going to be expressed. क्रिएटिविटी एक्सप्रेस होती है हर वो काम जो आप कर रहे हैं. मसलन एक सेल्स एग्जीक्यूटिव या सेल्समैन किस तरह अपने कस्टमर्स के साथ डील कर रहे हैं, through his own creative self. Even in college professors, though they have to do the same teaching, lecturing, but their very creative own self is being expressed. So it's very important, and this is one of the concepts or constructs for which Maslow is given a lot of significance and importance. Number 5, emphasis on psychological health. Maslow consistently argued that none of the available psychological approaches to the study of behavior does justice to the healthy human being's functioning, mode of living, or life goals. In particular, he strongly criticized Freud's preoccupation with the study of neurotic and psychotic individuals. For example, the nature of graduate students would hardly become evident by studying high school dropouts exclusively. In fact, such a study would be much more likely to discover what graduate students are not like than what they are like. Dear students, we are talking to you about humanistic psychology, and this is the 5th important construct or concept of humanistic psychology, that is emphasis on psychological health. Maslow is of the opinion that almost all theories, they are focusing on clinical population, on sick population, on neurotic and psychotic individuals. They are not taking into account mentally healthy, mentally sound and sane persons. They are ignoring them. So in Maslow's theory, the focus is not clinical population, but he is focusing on normal human beings. So हम इस बात पे भी credit दे सकते हैं that he is the first personality theorist who is taking into account the personality concept and construct of healthy individual. He is focusing on mentally healthy individuals. जनाब, बात आपसे हो रही है इब्राहिम मैस्लो की नीड थ्योरी की, एंड डियर स्टूडेंट्स, his need theory is basically a theory of motives, desires, wishes. Now if we want to understand Maslow's hierarchical theory of motivation, we got to understand it with reference to a very interesting diagram, and this diagram is that of a pyramid. जनाब, बात यूं है कि पिरामिड या इरहाम मिस्र आपने देखे हुए, एक त्रिकोण को अपने जहन में लाइए, और जब आप उस त्रिकोण को जहन में लाते हैं तो उस त्रिकोण की जो बेस है, द बेस ऑफ दिस पिरामिड इज ब्रॉडर एंड द टॉप इज नैरो. नाउ ट्राई टू फोकस ऑन दिस पिरामिड. Now, Maslow is talking about a hierarchy of needs. Hierarchy means a ladder. Ladder is used in climbing. So, if you have this triangle in front of you, the first step of this hierarchy or the first step of this pyramid has got the physiological needs. The second step has got the safety needs. The third step has got belongingness and love needs. Fourth has got the self-esteem needs, and the last one is self-actualization. So हम कह रहे हैं hierarchy और ladder means from lower order needs an individual moves on towards higher order needs. एक बात ज़हन में रखिएगा, the needs at the base of this pyramid are the survival needs. As we climb this hierarchy or ladder, we see higher order needs emerging. लेकिन जब तक बेसिक सर्वाइवल नीड्स पूरी नहीं होंगी, अगली नीड जो है वो इमर्ज नहीं करती, वो सरफेस पे नहीं आती. So you got to take that into account. So let us go through Maslow's hierarchical theory of motivation. Maslow believed that much of human behavior can be explained by individuals' tendency to seek personal goal states that make life rewarding and meaningful. In fact, motivational processes are the heart of his personality theory. Maslow depicted human being as a wanting animal who rarely reaches a state of complete satisfaction, which is nirvana. If nirvana exists, it is temporary. In Maslow's system, as one personal desire is satisfied, another surfaces to take its place. When a person satisfies this one, still another clamors for satisfaction. It is characteristic of human life that people are almost always desiring something. In this need hierarchy conception of human motivation, the needs are in order of potency: basic physiological needs, safety needs, belongingness and love needs, self-esteem needs, and number 5, self-actualization needs, or the need for personal fulfillment. Understanding this scheme is the assumption that low order needs must be at least somewhat satisfied before an individual can become aware of or motivated by higher order needs. Dear students, हमने आपसे कहा कि in this particular Maslow's hierarchical theory of motivation, we see that there is a hierarchy, there is a ladder. Lower order needs are at the base and higher order needs are at the top. Lower order needs have to be satisfied and it is then that higher order needs would emerge. एक बात याद रखिएगा, it's never there that an individual is completely satisfied. That is a state of nirvana, which is temporary. One category of needs satisfied, one may reach nirvana or complete satisfaction. Another group of needs would emerge. So basically, man is a wanting animal, constantly, always trying to pursue needs. So now let us take all these needs one by one. Number 1, physiological needs. The most basic, powerful and obvious of all human needs is the need for physical survival. Included in this group are the needs for food, drink, oxygen, activity, sleep, sex, protection from extreme temperatures, and sensory stimulation. These physiological drives are directly concerned with the biological maintenance of the organism and must be gratified at some minimal level before individual is motivated by higher order needs. बात आपसे हो रही है physiological needs. The first category of needs, physiological needs, survival needs. All your primary basic motives: hunger, thirst, avoiding pain, avoidance of harsh temperatures, and protecting yourself from each and everything would come over here. So आपकी basic primary motives, physiological needs at the first step. So these are the lower order needs. At the second step of the ladder is the safety needs. Once the physiological needs have been satisfied, an individual becomes concerned with a new set, often called the safety or security needs. The primary motivating force here is to ensure a reasonable degree of certainty, order, structure, predictability in one's environment. Maslow suggested that the safety needs are most readily observed in infants and young children because of their relative helplessness and dependence on adults. Infants, for instance, respond fearfully if they are suddenly dropped or startled by loud noises or flashing lights. Second category of needs, safety needs. Now it is physical safety which is important, physical protection which is important, और ये नीड आपको बच्चों में सबसे ज़्यादा नज़र आती है बिकॉज देयर सर्वाइवल वेरी मच इज डिपेंडेंट ऑन अडल्ट्स. So safety needs is the second group of needs that emerge in this hierarchy. जनाब बात आपसे हो रही है मैस्लो की नीड्स की. The third group of needs that comes on the surface is belongingness and love needs. The belongingness and love needs constitute the third hierarchical level. These needs emerge primarily when the physiological and safety needs have been met. An individual motivated on this level longs for affectionate relationship with others, for a place in his family or her family or reference groups. Group membership becomes a dominant goal for the individual. Accordingly, a person will feel keenly the pangs of loneliness, friendlessness, and rejection, especially when induced by the absence of friends, relatives, a spouse, or children. Students who attend college far from home fall prey to the effects of belongingness needs, striving with greater intensity to be recognized within a group regardless of its size. Dear students, we are talking to you about love and belongingness need. The third group of needs that emerge in front of us is belongingness and love needs. Now, once when physiological needs have been satisfied, safety needs have been satisfied, it is then that the human heart begins to long for an affectionate and loving relationship. The desire to belong to a group, चाहे वो ग्रुप कितना बड़ा हो, लेकिन उस ग्रुप को बिलोंग करना और उस ग्रुप में उसकी इम्पोर्टेंस होना. कहते ये कि हजरत इंसान के जब पेट में रोटी और सर के ऊपर एक मजबूत साइबान और छत हो, तो तीसरी चीज जो उनको सूझती है वो ये है कि देयर शुड बी बिलोंगिंगनेस एंड लव. So once the first two needs are satisfied, it is then that the third one, belongingness and love needs, emerge. The fourth category of needs, and that is self-esteem needs. When one's needs for being loved and for loving others have been reasonably gratified, their motivating force diminishes, paving the way for self-esteem needs. Maslow divided these into two subsidiary sets, self-respect and esteem from others. The former one includes such things as desire for competence, confidence, personal strength, adequacy, achievement, independence, and freedom. An individual needs to know that he or she is worth and capable of mastering tasks and challenges in life. Esteem from others includes prestige, recognition, acceptance, attention, status, fame, reputation, and appreciation. In this case, people need to be appreciated for what they can do, and they must experience feelings of worth because their competence is recognized and valued by significant others. The fourth category of needs is self-esteem needs. जनाब, हमने कहा फिजियोलॉजिकल नीड्स भी पूरी हो गई, सेफ्टी नीड्स भी पूरी हो गई और बिलोंगिंगनेस एंड लव नीड्स भी पूरी हो गई. तो द फोर्थ नीड दैट इज सेल्फ एस्टीम, that I, me part, the prestige, respect, regard that is given to an individual, the esteem that an individual is held in is important. So, the fourth category of needs, जहाँ पे से concept emerge करते हैं I, me, and that is the self is taking shape. The fifth group of need, and that is self-actualization need. Finally, if all the foregoing needs are sufficiently satisfied, the need for self-actualization comes to the surface. Maslow characterized self-actualization as the desire to become everything that one is capable of becoming. The person who has achieved this highest level presses towards the full use and exploitation of his or her talents, capabilities, and potentialities. Self-actualization is a person's desire for self-improvement, his or her drive to make actual what he or she is potentially. In short, to self-actualize is to become the kind of person one wants to be, to reach the peak of one's potential. A musician must make music, an artist must paint, a poet must write, and if he is to be at peace with himself, what a man can be, he must be, and he must be true to his own nature. जनाब बात आपसे हो रही है मैस्लो के नीड हायरार्किकल थ्योरी की, और हमने कहा कि इन दिस पर्टिकुलर हायरार्किकल थ्योरी he is talking about physiological needs, safety needs, belongingness and love needs, self-esteem needs, and the last and very important, self-actualization. Self-actualization means using all your talents, all your potentials, all your capabilities to the highest maximum peak level. आपके अंदर अल्लाह ताला ने जितनी सलाहियत रखी है उस तमाम सलाहियत को इस्तेमाल किया जाए और उस ज़ेनिथ और पीक को टच किया जाए जो कि आप चाहते हैं. नाउ देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन, व्हाई कांट ऑल पीपल अचीव सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजेशन? अकॉर्डिंग टू मैस्लो, most if not all of mankind needs and seeks inner fulfillment. His own research led him to conclude that impulses towards realizing one's potentialities is both natural and necessary. Yet only a few, usually the gifted, ever achieve it. Less than 1% of the population, Maslow estimated, achieve self-actualization. हमने आपसे सवाल किया जो बहुत अहम है कि why can't all people achieve self-actualization? Why is it that all people cannot achieve self-actualization? Now, according to Maslow, as his research and as his work shows, that it is just 1% of the total estimated population, just 1% of the people who are able to self-actualize. सिर्फ 1% ऐसे हैं जो सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइज कर पाते, बाकी नहीं सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइज कर पाते. In part, he believed that this extremely unfortunate state of affairs exists because many people are simply blind to their potentials. They neither know that it exists nor understands the reward of self-enhancement. Rather, they tend to doubt or even fear their own abilities, thereby diminishing their chances of becoming self-actualized. In addition, social environment often hinders self-fulfillment. हमने आपसे शुरू में सवाल किया कि why is it that all people just cannot self-actualize? और हमने उसके जवाब के लिए जब मैस्लो की थ्योरी और रिसर्च देखी तो उसमें से हमें ये जवाब मिला कि it is just only 1% of the people out of the total estimated population, just 1% who self-actualize. इसकी क्या वजह है? This unfortunate state of affairs is that some people are totally blind to the fact that what potentials, talents, skills they possess. Number 2, they are afraid to use their potentials or talents. Number 3, they are unaware of the rewards that they are going to get if they are going to utilize all their talents, all their potentials. तो हमने देखा ये कि इसलिए सब लोग सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइज नहीं कर पाते क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोगों को अपने पोटेंशियल्स, अपने टैलेंट्स, अपनी एबिलिटीज के बारे में दे आर टोटली ब्लाइंड. नंबर 2, they are afraid or they fear that they may not be in a position to use them rightly. Number 3, very important thing, that they are not aware of the rewards and reinforcements they are going to get. So, unfortunately, there is a very small segment of the population of people who self-actualize. जनाब, हमने आपसे बात की मैस्लो की हायरार्किकल थ्योरी ऑफ मोटिवेशन, और इस हायरार्किकल थ्योरी ऑफ मोटिवेशन में देयर इज वन इम्पॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट व्हिच वी हैव टू डिस्कस, दैट इज बेसिक नीड्स एंड मेटा नीड्स. हमने शुरू में टर्म यूज की थी बेसिक नीड्स एंड मेटा नीड्स. Maslow's meta motivational theory. He has given a meta motivational theory which differentiates between basic needs and meta needs. The basic needs are hunger, thirst, affection, security, self-esteem, while meta needs include justice, goodness, beauty, and order. The basic needs have a hierarchy, but meta needs do not have a hierarchy. Rather, they are instinctual, just like basic needs. When they are not fulfilled, individual becomes sick. Dear students, we are talking to you about Maslow's meta motivational theory, and in Maslow's meta motivational theory, he is talking about two types of needs. Number one, basic needs. Number two, meta needs. Now, basic needs are all your basic survival needs, which includes hunger, thirst, it includes affection, security. But there is another set of needs as well, which is labeled as meta needs, such as need for justice, beauty, order, discipline. Now, basic needs are there, and when basic needs are not fulfilled, individual survival is impossible. So for physical survival, basic needs play a very important role. But when it comes to meta needs they do not have any hierarchical order. They do not have any hierarchy. But they are very important. They are instinctual, just like basic needs. And if meta needs are not satisfied, इंडिविजुअल बिकम्स सिक. और हम इस सिकनेस को सिर्फ फिजिकल सिकनेस नहीं बल्कि ही वुड बी हैविंग पुअर मेंटल हेल्थ. सो बेसिक नीड्स आर इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर फिजिकल सर्वाइवल ऑफ द इंडिविजुअल एंड मेटा नीड्स आर वेरी इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर हिज गुड मेंटल हेल्थ, फॉर हिज गुड साइकोलॉजिकल वेल-बीइंग. सो डियर स्टूडेंट्स, both of these needs are equally important for the survival of the individual, whether it's meta needs or whether it's basic needs. Now today we have talked to you about what is humanistic psychology, what is Maslow's need theory. हमने आपके साथ उसमें एक बेसिक पिरामिड और ट्रायंगल के थ्रू मैस्लो की हायरार्किकल थ्योरी ऑफ मोटिवेशन की, जिसमें हमने सबसे पहले शुरू किया फिजियोलॉजिकल नीड्स से, सेफ्टी नीड्स, बिलोंगिंगनेस एंड लव नीड्स, सेल्फ एस्टीम नीड्स, एंड ऑफ कोर्स वी वेंट अप टू सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजेशन. और हमने ये देखा कि सेल्फ, व्हाई इज इट दैट इट इज वेरी स्मॉल सेगमेंट ऑफ द पॉपुलेशन, इट इज वेरी फ्यू पीपल हु आर एबल टू सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइज. हमने देखा ये था कि it is just 1% of the total estimated population, that just 1% of the people actually self-actualize, or this just 1% of people who are able to utilize all their talents, potentials, capabilities to the highest maximum level. And why many people are not able to self-actualize? There are many reasons, but maybe these people, they are simply blind to their potentials. They are not aware what potential, strength, talents they have. Number two, they are scared. They are phobic. They fear using their potentials or their talents. And number three, they are unaware of the rewards that an individual gets in return when he is able to self-actualize. जनाब, हमने आपसे ये कहा कि ये जो मैस्लो की नीड हायरार्किकल थ्योरी है, इसमें a group of needs arises, they are satisfied, gratified, then the second set would arise, and it is the last step is self-actualization, and it is very few who can reach it. Dear students, we have been talking to you about what is humanistic psychology, what is Maslow's need theory, there are still some very important, interesting concepts and constructs related to Maslow's hierarchical theory of motivation and many more things which we will discuss in our next lecture. I hope you have enjoyed listening to this lecture just as much as I have enjoyed talking to all of you. Please go through the PowerPoint slides and the Word document that is available on the web page of Personality Psychology, and do take excellent care of yourself. Do write to us if you have any problem or any query related to this particular lecture. Up till our next lecture, it is Khuda Hafiz from Virtual University Studio.